This is going to be my method of AC method for factoring trinomials and quadratics. I couldn't find a good video, so here it is. Okay? Here are the steps. I don't know if the camera picks it up, but I'm going to follow these steps for AC method. And I'm going to do these 3 problems to factor. Okay, so the first problem is x squared plus 2x minus 15. Using our AC method, the first thing we look for is a common factor through all 3 of these terms. Right now there's none, because this is 1x squared, 2x, and negative 15. No common factor, and they don't have x's, so no common factor there. After we look for a common factor, we have to make sure it's in the right order. X squared first, followed by x, followed by nothing. No x, that's fine. Now we go right to our diamond problem. The diamond you make, well, it's just an x, but it kind of started off looking like a diamond like that. You take the a term, 1, the c, negative 15, and multiply them. So a times c goes on top, and the b goes down low. Now you find 2 numbers that multiply to make the negative 15 on top, but would add up to make 2. You just go through all the possibilities of making that first number by multiplying. It's either 1 and 15 or 3 and 5, that's it. So you should come to 3 and 5 are the 2 numbers. However, to make a 2, one of these has to be negative. Clearly, to make 2 numbers multiply, one of them has to be negative. It's the negative 3, because that would add up to 2. Then you make 2 groups. These are going to be where your factors are. If you had a GCF, a greatest common factor that you pulled out, it would go in front. Then you always start with AX. Well, A is 1, so it's just 1x. I'll just put x. 1x. These numbers follow minus 3 plus 5. The last step is you have to look for a common factor between these 2. Is there something both of these things can be divided by? Well, no. If it's just a 1 in front, you don't have to really ask the question, because nothing is going to be common with 1 and anything else besides 1. So that's it. As a check, make sure that it works. First times first should give you back this. Last times last should give you back that. It does, that's the factor. AC method, problem number 2. 2x squared minus 11x plus 5. Again, we're going to start by looking for a greatest common factor. 2, 11, 5, nothing in common. X squared, x, no x, nothing in common. Okay, no GCF. Order is good, diamond. A times C. Keep the b down low. Now we look for 2 numbers. What multiplies to make 10? 1 and 10, 2 and 5, that's it. Which combination would make a negative 11? Well, if this is positive, 2 numbers making positive, but adds up to a negative, both of them are negative. Negative 1 and negative 10. Now do the 2 groups again. We're going to start with, there's no GCF, so our 2 groups start with AX. A is 2. 2x and 2x. Plug in the numbers. Negative 1, negative 10. This clearly is not right yet. 2 times 2 is not 2, it's 4. 1 times 10, we're getting 5 here. Something's wrong. And what's wrong is we haven't looked for a common factor between each 2 values inside each group. So 2 and 1, what could both of them be divided by? Just 1. 2 and 10, they could be both divided by 2, and you have to. Divide that 2 and throw it away. So this stays 2x minus 1, but this now changes into 2 divided by 2 is 1x, 10 divided by 2 is 5, so minus 5. Check again. 2x times x, 2x squared. Negative 1 times negative 5, positive 5, and that's going to work. Our last one. 4x squared plus, actually I'm going to make it 4x to the cube. 12x squared plus 8x. First step, do they have a common factor? You got a couple. 4, 12, and 8. They could all be divided by 2. But even better, they can all be divided by 4. You want to take the biggest number out, 4. But also, look, x to the third, x squared, and x. Every one of them has an x. Pull that out. Okay, let's see what's left. Pulling out the 4 and an x leaves behind just x squared. Just to check that, 4x times x squared, that would have given me back the 4x to the third. Now, if I pull a 4x from 12 and x squared, I would still have 3 and one of the x's left over. See, 4 times 3 is 12, x times x is x squared. And lastly, from the 8, 2. Okay, this is my GCF, stays out in front. There's my trinomial that I'm going to do the AC method on. Here we go. Diamond. 1 times 2. 3 down low. 2 numbers that multiply to make that. But add up to that. Here we go. Here's my 2 groups, but this time I have a GCF. I pull it down in front. AX. So that's 1x. My 2 numbers, 1 and 2, get put here. Let's check. X times x, x squared. 1 times 2, 2. GCF, there it is. Now it's factored. AC method, all done.